Breaking news this hour on RT International. London City Airport is effectively shut down after police surround Black Lives Matter activists who broke onto the runway. Our correspondent witnesses heavy fighting in the Libyan city of Sirte as government forces surround ISIL terrorists in what used to be the group's stronghold. And US intelligence officials reportedly suspect Russia of conducting a covert operation to stir up public distrust ahead of November's presidential election. Just turning midday here in Moscow, it's RT International. We start this hour with breaking news. Protesters have disrupted flights from London City Airport. Police were called there after demonstrators managed to break right onto the runway. Let's get more details on this now on Cross Live to RT's Isa Ali, who's going to bring us up to speed. The latest details you have, Isa.
Yes, Rory, about 20 to 6 this morning, a handful of protesters who claim to be from the Black Lives Matter group somehow made their way onto the runway at London City Airport. It's one of the smaller airports here in the capital, but vital, of course. It's next to, or not far from, the city of London, so very important for business flights and people coming in and out of the financial district of the city. And they reportedly made their way onto the runway by either swimming or catching a dinghy across a moat or a big pond of some sort. And now, of course, fears being raised that, well, if it was that easy for them to be able to break the perimeter and it was that easy for them to make their way onto the runway, well, what about other types of security concerns that could have taken place? Of course, so they've chained themselves onto the runway. Some of the pictures emerging actually show most or all of the protesters to be white, so perhaps an interesting perspective there of a white activist showing their solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, of course, this isn't the first time an airport has been targeted by the Black Lives Matter protesters. Earlier this year, we saw them close off one of the main artery roads towards Heathrow Airport, which is, of course, one of, if not the busiest airport in the world, and that caused travel chaos for thousands of people, as it is doing so here. Now, of course, on social media, there's been a mixed reaction, some in support of Black Lives Matter, some saying that this is just disrupting life for ordinary people and that this is not the right way to go about raising concerns for their protest or their cause. But presumably the response to that is that, well, protesting nicely doesn't get any attention, so we have to go above and beyond in order to raise attention to what is a very, of course, serious issue, which is the issue of state killings, not just in the USA, but of course here, of black and minority people at the hands of the state and the police forces.
All right, live with the latest breaking news out of London, RT's Isa Ali. Thank you.